Newcomer, New Me.
Hello everybody, welcome to this new episode of Newcomer, New Me. Today we are talking about the interview process while you are looking for a job in Canada. Having an interview is stressful, but if you are there, that means that you are moving forward in the hiring process. To me, succeeding in a job interview is about practice. The more you practice, the better. And you need to be prepared to feel confident and comfortable. Today, we are bringing two specialists. Both are very successful immigrants. Our first guest is Danielle Duperron. She is the program assistant for the Workplace Communication in Canada program at the G. Raymond Chang School of Continuing Education at Ryerson University. And our other guest is Alma Arzate, who is in a decision-making position and is bringing to the table many advices on what exactly she is looking for when she is hiring a new member of her team. Alma is a director of global supply chain logistics at Apotex, a global pharmaceutical company in Canada. My friends, so my first guest is here with us right now. Danielle is celebrating 12 years in Canada. So congratulations, Danielle, and of course, welcome to Newcomer New Me.
Thank you.
Danielle, I want to start this conversation creating a scenario. Let's say somebody is coming to Canada, it's absolutely new, and is calling you and say, hey, Danielle, you have 12 years in Canada. So I'm sure you have many advices you can give to me. I'm finally, receiving a call about an interview. Let's say in a week, I'm having this first interview in Canada. So give me an advice. I need to prepare for this interview. So what would you tell them?
First of all, congratulations. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I'm very proud that you are here new and you already got your first interview. That's great, because we really do need to do a little bit of, congratulations when we accomplish our little milestones as we build our journey in Canada. So first thing, congratulations for getting your interview. Secondly, my biggest advice for anybody who has a interview coming up is research the company that you are being interviewed at. So find out what it is that they do. See if they have been on the news. So if you know the person who is interviewing you, research them as well, see what they are up to, what they have created, what they have developed, if they have any articles, if it's in academia, for example, go into your database for journals and see if this person has written anything so that you come to the interview and you feel that you have all of this archival information, right? Because in the interview, you want to be seen as a person who is really informed about the position, about the company, and if possible, about the interviewer. So that when they say, do you have any questions for me? You can say, yes, I do. I read this, I saw that you this, I saw that, I like this, right? So my biggest advice to anybody who has an interview is research the position and the company.
Danielle, most of the interviews start general question. To me, sometimes it's difficult because you are nervous and you are just starting. And that question is, okay, so tell me about yourself. So what would be your advice on how to answer this very important question?
Okay, this is the question that every candidate should be anticipating. It can have many forms, right? It could be in a conversational tone. So tell me a little bit about yourself. And you are also evaluating the interviewer because you are getting these cues about, okay, do I go really in depth? Do I have a conversational tone? Do they want a short description or a long description. It's all based on how they frame that question, right? Sometimes they can just say, describe you, describe me, you to me in 5 words. Or they can say, you know, use a few words to describe yourself. And then you know, okay, this is a short thing. My best advice is to practice at home a few of these variations. So if they ask you in a conversational thing, have a script in your mind and you can write this down. And this is the beautiful thing about the WCC program, is that we actually have this scenario. So we actually make students do this script. So have a few scripts in your mind and practice them with yourself in the mirror, or if you have a partner, sit them down and say, listen, I'm trying to introduce myself this way. Do you think that's a fair description of myself? What would you say I've got right? And how could you, you know, it's great if you have that feedback that you can say. So my personal one is, I like to say, I am a positive, friendly human. I have a firm handshake and a glad smile, and I love to learn new things, but mostly I love helping others find their success. So that is something that I just have it written and I can use here or there.
Danielle, to me, one of the, it's such a very common question, but to me, it's so difficult to talk about our weaknesses.
Yes.
So it's, of course, something that you should be expecting if you are preparing for a job interview. So give us an advice on how to address this important question.
Behavior questions are very nerve-wracking, and they are meant to be that, because it's their way of really putting you on the spot and seeing how you deal with it, right? So, for example, I had not so recently, but I had a job interview where they asked me 13 behavior questions, right? And this is one after the other. And the weakness, which I thought would be the worst question, was really not the worst of them all. For your weakness, I would say, find something that you have been working against during your professional life. For me, it was easy to find my weakness because I evaluated what I have been doing professionally. So my professional background is in film. Okay, so I'm a filmmaker by formation, and then I started to realize, why is it that I'm a filmmaker and not in front of the screen? Because I really don't like speaking publicly. That's my worst weakness. This for me right now is very, very hard work. I'm only doing it because I have notes.
Oh, thank you so much. And we appreciate you are doing the effort. Many immigrants are gonna absolutely take advantage of this. So please continue.
So for me, my weakness is public speaking and being in front of the camera, right? I mean, I think you can hear sometimes when my voice does a little tremble, but that's my weakness. And I realized that it was my weakness when I read my resume to myself. I said, oh my God, I have always been working behind the camera. I am an editor, so I'm editing other people's videos. I am a coder. I can do a website, so I'm also behind the cameras. I'm a camera operator, so I'm behind the camera. So, and then I really realized that when I am asked to speak publicly, I do not. I try to say no. I mean, when Katerina said, why don't you go ahead and take this? I said, okay, sure. And then I'm busy doing my homework, right? So use the weakness that most reflects your effort to overcome it, and that is real, that people can say, oh yes, I can see how she's, it has a basis on fact, on evidence. So find your weakness and explain how you have through the years been trying to overcome.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Danielle. I absolutely agree, because at the end, it's a question, it's an opportunity for you
Yes.
to show, right? That, I mean, we all have mistakes. We all have weaknesses. We don't want to talk about them. That's, of course, that's for sure. We want to believe that we are all perfect,
Yeah.
right? But at the end, use this as an opportunity to show that you acknowledge
That's right.
your weaknesses,
Yeah.
but you're also working on them.
So they really just want to see how conscious you are of yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel, you are an immigrant yourself. So I would like you to please give an advice, a general advice to an immigrant who is absolutely new in Canada.
Okay. So you know how some countries are, when you're looking for a job, it's about what you know. They will see on your resume that you went to XYZ university and you are almost halfway in the door. And then they will see that you have a bachelor's in something, and then you have a foot in the door. And then they will see your experience in whatever company, and then you are fully in the door. It's what you know. Some places is who you know, right? You can say, I worked for so and so, and then you are in the door. In Canada, it's who knows you, right? So for somebody who is coming into Canada and saying, I want to find a job, in Canada, there are two things that are very unique here. And I'm speaking as my personal experience, because before coming to Canada, I lived in the United States for also 10 years. So in here, I found out that there are two things: networking and Canadian experience. Those words we hear from the moment that we apply for the first job. Where's your Canadian experience? Where is your Canadian experience? And your networking. So if you can combine these two things in your first efforts to look for a job, it's not about how you send your resumes and your cover letters out. It's who you're connected to in your professional social media like LinkedIn, and where on your resume do you have your Canadian experience. That could be a volunteering position in a Canadian, extremely Canadian institution, or it could be the WCC program or any other bridging training program, because then you say, look, I may not have Canadian experience, but I have graduated from a program that is about Canadian workplace communication. So at least that tells the employer, okay, this is a person who is coming from outside of the Canadian culture, but they took the time to, learn about the Canadian workplace culture. So that already puts your little foot into the door a little further, right? So it's networking, Canadian experience.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was about to say. A great place where you can understand, learn what exactly means in Canada, the Canadian experience, and how to do networking, how to introduce yourself, is the workplace communication in Canada. Such a fantastic program. I recently graduated myself from this program, and that's why I can tell you, you need to hear about this. So Daniel, please give us an introduction about the program.
So this program is from 2007, and it was designed to bridge internationally trained professionals to their job in Canada without them having to A, start all over, or B, do something different because they cannot find their profession in Canada. So the Workplace Communication in Canada program is designed, it's pan-professional, so it caters to every single profession, because everybody has to work in a workplace culture, right? So it's for engineers, and you can be a doctor, and you can be a nurse, and you can be a writer or a philosopher, or entrepreneur, whatever, right? And it's designed to help you to practice inside the context of the Canadian workplace, because you can read, you can Google, you can hear about what it is that you need to do in a job interview. But until you get to actually practice in that scenario, you don't know what you're going to say. You don't know how it's going to feel, right? You don't know how receptive the other person might be to your tone, to your words, to your even pronunciation, to your, I mean, not that is important, too important, but it's the chance that you have to actually practice. So these courses will put you in the situation where you have to describe yourself, tell me a little bit about yourself, give a presentation, right? And so this program is your chance to do two things: get your Canadian experience, and also build your network, because you will be in a cohort with other people. You can start a network with those people, and all of you together will have your network, your Canadian experience. And the end result of the program is that everybody feels a little bit more confident about their job searching journey in Canada after it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was about to say. Gaining confidence. To me, that's what how this program helped me. Many times when you are applying a job and you're doing an interview, you want feedback.
Yes.
You want to know what happened. You want to know if there's something you should be improving. So you are gonna get feedback from professionals, and even with your accent, right? Because yes, we're immigrants, we're having an accent, and yes, it's true, we have to embrace our accent, because sometimes you are at an age where you cannot change how you speak and your culture, and you need to embrace it. But at the same time, maybe you can improve or change a little bit that pronunciation that is not helping you,
Right.
and you can do that, right?
Yes.
So I wanna ask you, so who can apply to this program? What's the length of the program? Can you please give us more details about that?
So the program has three requirements. You must have a Canadian language benchmark of 6 or higher in all 4 skills. So reading, writing, speaking, and listening. You must have a bachelor's degree from outside of Canada. And you must have a status of Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or a protected person with your decision papers. So your personal protected person status document. So those are the 3 things, right? Your CLB of 6, a bachelor's degree from outside of Canada, and a formal citizenship status of protected person, PR, or Canadian citizen. Then you can apply, and it's as easy as sending an email to wcc@ryerson.ca, and we will send you the application forms. The good thing about this program also is that it's free for those who are financially eligible. Through the Ontario Bridge Participant Assistance Program. It's a bursary. A bursary is a gift, so you don't have to pay back. It's not a loan. And this program is 15 Saturdays, 4 courses through these 15 Saturdays. And it's costing $2,870. That is completely free for those who qualify for the bursary. So you get your Canadian experience, your networking, your confidence for free for, not having to pay a dime. It's a win-win-win-win-win.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I don't know if you have any additional comments to close this interview.
No, my additional comment to you is congratulations for graduating from the program. I really hope that you enjoyed, and I wish you the best going forward. Keep us in the loop. Let us know how you're doing and what you're up to. We love to hear back from our graduates as they progress on their journey in Canada. So keep us posted, and congratulations. This is a great project. I am so happy that this exists, and I congratulate you on the endeavor.
Thank you so much, Danielle, and thank you for being today at Newcomer New Me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Alma Arzate, our next guest, is already here. Of course, this is so exciting. Let me introduce her. Alma has more than 15 years of experience leading teams as director, as manager. She is currently director of global supply chain logistics at the global pharmaceutical company Apotex Inc., where she is in charge of more than 140 people. Alma has been finalist twice for the top 25 Canadian Immigrant Awards by the Canadian Immigrant magazine. She's also part of the top 100 most influential women in supply chain globally and has achieved the 2020 Women of Inspiration Award as Authentic Leader. Alma, thank you so much for being with us today and be willing to share your experience, your knowledge with all of us.
Cynthia, thank you very much. And first of all, I would just like to thank Eugenio Lopez, Antonio Zurita, Brenda Avila, and Lucero Sui from Hispanotech, and you, Cynthia, from The Bridge for this invitation. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today.
Thank you so much, Alma. It's an honor to have you. So this episode is about the interview process when we are job searching. And we decided to invite you because you are in a decision-making position. And of course, we need your input, we need your advice. So Alma, generally speaking, when you're looking for a candidate to join your team, is there something in a specific that you are interested in? Or let's say that according to you, it's absolutely essential for them to have?
Yes, Cynthia, and my bar is high, so I'm gonna be giving you and the audience a lot of the key traits that I look for in a candidate, and these are resiliency, initiative, drive for results, a continuous improvement mindset, perseverance, communication, high sense of urgency, and last but definitely not least, collaboration. And to be honest, we never know what opportunities are going to come at us. So through my questions during the interview process, I try to assess how has the candidate been able to handle difficult situations in the past and found ways to overcome and resolve those challenges and achieve the results.
Alma, let's say that we are between two very good candidates who are having all these, qualities, qualifications that you're just mentioning. So, but you need to pick only one. So which are gonna be the factors you're gonna, consider to at the end make that final decision?
It does happen. It happens a lot. The interview process might have 5, 6, we start with 5, 6 candidates. They go through pre-screening. Then we select the top 3, and sometimes it comes down to top 2. And that's a very tough decision, but it might come down to the candidate that displays more enthusiasm, more energy, more optimism. Basically, the person that allows us to see his or her passion for the role in the company, or the candidate that can better fit and complement the other team members' skills and even their personalities. And I would say that even now and then, it might be down to even luck, because sometimes candidates have multiple interview processes going at once. And we know that, we respect that. That's something that happens very frequently. So our first pick might end up declining the offer, and the second in line might end up getting it then. So at the end of the day, my job and my responsibility as a leader at Apotex is to find and secure top talent for the organization. So of course, I'm always going to go for my first pick, but sometimes this is what happens, and the second pick works as well, and sometimes even better, than the first pick.
Alma, so talking about getting ready for an interview, give us, according to you, according to your experience, what should be our to-do list when we are preparing for a job interview?
Okay. So I'll try to make it short and sweet. Only 3 things in my to-do list. Number 1, you need to do some research on the company. You need to go to their website. You need to read the blogs. You need to go to their social media. Try to connect even with some current or former employees. You can go to Glassdoor and read the reviews. Okay, so that's number 1. Do your homework on the company. Number 2, go over the job description with a magnifying glass. Read it multiple times. When the time for the interview comes, you need to be ready to demonstrate how your skills and experience are a great match versus the job requirements. It's almost like you should not leave any doubt in the interviewer's minds that you're the perfect person for this position. And you can only achieve that as you're reading and trying to extract more from the job description and then pair them up with number 3. Prepare many examples of your accomplishments where you can showcase your best traits. You need to put them together in something that we call Cynthia STAR format. Mm-hmm. And for our audience that are not familiar with the STAR format, STAR stands for situation, task, action, and results. So if you structure your examples following the STAR format, they're going to come through very clearly to the interviewers. On those examples, try to focus on learnings, continuous improvement, how you were able to meet or exceed your objectives and achieve the results you needed. And on this topic, I have to say, Cynthia, let's remind our audience, this is not the time to be shy. We understand that you did not accomplish all these results by yourself. But as you put together these STAR examples, trying to incorporate more I and less we. After all, you are the one interviewing to get the job, not the whole team. So sometimes that is something that happens, right? Where people start saying we, but in reality, I'm interested on your particular contributions to the results.
I think that's such a very important advice. And I mean, I'm going to talk about my own experience. And I think it might be, I don't know what you think, a cultural issue that sometimes at least in Mexico, or at least my education is like, no, don't talk about you, right? Like you need to be humble. But as you said, when you are in a job interview, no, this is not time about being humble. You need to show who you are, right?
Like exactly, Cynthia, exactly. You got it.
To demonstrate. Alma, let's talk about some common mistakes that you have seen while you are interviewing.
Yeah, well, there might be one mistake that happens during the interview, or unfortunately, there have been some interviews when there are a whole series of mistakes happen during that interview. So let me see, some mistakes, or the most common mistake that come to mind is not making eye contact or not smiling, right? So sometimes that happens, like the person is very serious and we want to see that, personality, etc., coming from the person is really not there. Having a bad posture, so slouching, during the interview. We want to, take space and we want to lean forward a little bit. Okay, so to show interest, show attention. Having a low level of energy, that's something that, is I would say the interview goes down very quickly when there's not enough energy or enthusiasm. Lacking humor, lacking warmth, not leaving a lasting impression on the interviewers that could set you apart from other candidates. And I would say a very, very big mistake that sadly, it has occurred to me during the interviews I have had over the last many years, is when the candidate shows up and they have little to no knowledge about the company, or even worse, they have little to no knowledge about the job they applied for. That means that they didn't take the time to go and do the research, to take the time to prepare for the interview. And the last one, Cynthia, that I will say that is probably the most common mistake that I have found is failing to ask for the job. And what I mean by that is at the end of the interview, when it's your turn, because usually Canadian employers will leave some time at the end for the interviewee to ask questions. So this is your time to shine. This is your time to say, you know what, I would really like, to be part of the company, and I'm willing to do what it takes to make sure I'm successful. I just want to tell you that I really want the job. And think about the question you just asked me, Cynthia, where you have two candidates that have, let's say, similar experience and similar skills and qualifications, but one of them told you that that person wants the job, right? And the other one didn't. So which one are you going to hire?
Of course, the one who is interested, right?
The person that wants the job. Exactly. You got it.
Alma, of course, we all want to have a successful career like the one you have. So I want to ask you, give us an advice for those immigrants who are just coming here, who are just starting their career. Give them an advice, where to start.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to say that at the very beginning of my career, Cynthia, I did, here in Canada, I did not have a good understanding of the Canadian culture. So I had to overcome this challenge. So in order to do that, I observed my peers and managers. So there might be some traits that we're not used to, depending on the culture we come from. When they offer some feedback, I remained open to the feedback, and I also embraced the change. If that was something that I was doing that wasn't necessarily fitting in the culture, right? I tried to keep an open mind. As you know, Cynthia, small talk is also very important. So I embraced the small talk. I also became more open to share more about myself. And through that sharing, I was able to establish stronger connections with the people I work with. One challenge that I had as I started my career in Canadian companies is that I had to learn to better express my ideas to influence other people, and use what we call executive summaries in order to do that, because we might sometimes be a little long-winded and the executives don't have time for that. So I have to really learn how to express these ideas in a very concise way. When I came here 14 years ago, I would say my English was, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. So I started to listen to audiobooks in order to expand my vocabulary and improve my pronunciation. So there's many things that I have learned to enjoy about the Canadian workplace. We have a democratic and inclusive workplace. We do not expect people to address us as sir or madam, versus other cultures that are very hierarchical. We as Canadian employers, we try to ensure all the team members are heard. And basically, we expect that employers participate, be proactive, and also be engaged. So I would say that that's a bit of a summary of, all the things I had to go through to let's say, achieve a successful career here in Canada.
It's such a great summary, Alma, and I really appreciate you for sharing, all these advices. I'm sure many people are going to take advantage of them. I want to close this interview asking you, generally speaking, as an immigrant, not only talking in a professional level, could be if you want, is there another advice you would like to give to somebody who is just coming to Canada?
Canada has been really good to my family and I, Cynthia. It has been really good. It has been a good experience. I really honestly feel that Canada welcomes new talent, and internationally trained professionals are needed to contribute to our economy. So when you land, please take advantage of the many resources available to you, like this wonderful podcast. I wish I had something like this, Cynthia, when I when I showed up 14 years ago, right? There were no resources like this. There was no resource like Hispanotech that are really, out there trying to improve the skills of all these, all of our Canadian immigrants that are just arriving. Seek mentors within the community that can help give you an insight into the Canadian workplace and culture. Another way that you can acquire some skills is volunteering. That's something that struck me as pretty motivating, and the fact that Canadians, as busy as they are, they give back. They give back to the community all the time, and this is something that Cynthia, I think we learn from, and this is something that now we're doing that ourselves, and try to share a little bit of what we have learned with others. So I say work hard, establish a network of supporters, because you never know when you're going to need a helping hand, and eventually you are going to become a helping hand to other people. And I know, because I went through the same thing. A change of this magnitude requires a lot of hard work, a lot of perseverance, a lot of commitment, but it's definitely worth it. I would say, looking back, it has definitely been definitely something that I wouldn't change a thing. Everything that I went through for a reason. I got learnings out of it, and that made me stronger. So even if right now feels like a big obstacle, a big mountain that you have to climb, just keep going. Persevere. If you fail, pick yourself back up, learn those lessons, and continue to work hard. And eventually you're gonna build a base. You're gonna get your head above water, and you're gonna reach your peak. So thank you very much, Cynthia.
Thank you so much, Alma. We know you're so busy, and we appreciate for you, to make the time to be able to share this knowledge, this experience with many, many immigrants who are going to be listening to this podcast. So thank you so much, Alma.
Thank you. A pleasure. Thank you.
And thank you, all of you, for being with us today at Newcomer, New Me. In our next episode, we are talking about the Canadian workplace environment and how to succeed when you are finally hired in Canada. So don't miss it. Newcomer, New Me was brought to you by the Bridge Canada and Hispanotech, and is entirely produced by immigrants. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platform, as we want to help you integrate in Canada. My name is Cynthia Basulto Mejia. I'm a Latin American journalist living in Canada. So see you next time. Bye-bye.